Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here from TriRig. Today, just a quick video. I want to get everybody's opinion on Flatgate. So Christian Blumenfeld recently flatted during Ironman Oceanside. He had been in the lead, but then he had a flat tire, had to stop at the side of the road. Neutral support wasn't available to get to him quickly. I think they were dealing with some other crash on course. It took them quite a while to get to him, and by the time they did, he had, lost his advantage. He was in the lead, and now he dropped something like 55th. I think he climbed back up to somewhere around 15th place or 11th place, somewhere in there. So he still, fought valiantly and finished the race, which a lot of other pros might not have done. So, bravo to Christian for sticking with it. But the question here is, why didn't he have a flat kit on his bike? There was even a place on his frame for internal flat kit storage. What do you all think about this? I'm curious what you do on your bikes for race day prep. It used to be you would see just about every athlete on the road with a spare tubular tire in the back and then maybe a can of Vittoria pit stop. So if they had a flat tire, they would valiantly do their best to rip off the existing glued tubular in back, install the new one, which was just very lightly glued, use the pit stop to inflate to whatever it was, and then keep going. And I think as carbon clinchers and then tubeless became more popular, maybe the spare tire or tube was ditched, but you would still see cans of pit stop or a similar inflation/sealant device somewhere on the bike. And now with, frames getting wider and a lot of internal storage on certain frames, some of those will just be tucked inside, but many athletes still bring them along. And among the pro ranks, there was sort of a split in that philosophy. So some would tend to bring it, particularly athletes like Norman Stadler. So Norman famously had like a triple flat or something like that in Kona one year, and he had brought stuff or a couple of things, but didn't get neutral support in time or something similar to the Christian situation, got so frustrated and he was like having a tantrum on the side of the Queen K, throwing his wheels on the ground. I don't think his sponsor Zip at the time was super happy, or maybe they were because that clip got played over and over on YouTube. But then in the years following, he would have like a whole backpack full of things right on his saddle to make sure that never happened again. Other famous flat examples, I think Chrissy Wellington once flatted in Kona and didn't have materials with her, but then another athlete, I can't remember who the other athlete was, if it was Natasha Badman or someone else, like threw her some stuff on the side of the road, seeing that she was fixing a tire, and then Chrissy fixed her flat tire with the materials she received from her fellow athlete. It was deemed legal by, race support and everything, and she got back up and then went on to win the race. So really cool stuff there. But obviously Christian had really bad luck, but also could have maybe prepared for it better. So I'm wondering, what are your comments? What are your thoughts on this? Again, I, in racing, generally tend to prepare for these kinds of things, but some athletes, like I said, there's sort of the two schools of thought: either bring everything, or the other school of thought is, if I flat, it's probably going to kill my chances of winning anyway, so who cares? But, I tend to admire the athletes who don't give up when they've gotten a flat, especially an athlete like Christian, who gets the flat, has to wait a long time, is sitting there no longer exercising, and his body's doing all kinds of crazy stuff, shutting down or filling his, muscles with lactic acid or whatever, and still goes back and climbs his way to a good finish. So that's admirable, and I like that. But I'm wondering, what do all of you do out there? I think this is really interesting stuff, and just goes hand in hand with the obsession we have over equipment and race day preparation. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.